She forgave him the first time. Of course she did. She loved him. And when you love someone, really love someone, forgiveness does not feel like a choice. It feels like breathing. It feels like the only thing that makes sense. He said he was sorry. He meant it. She could see it in his eyes. He held her while she cried. He promised it would never happen again. And she believed him, not because she was naive, not because she did not feel the pain of what he had done. She felt it fully, every single piece of it. But she believed in him. She believed in what they had built together. She believed that love, real love, was worth fighting for. And so she forgave him. She packed the pain away somewhere deep inside herself. And she chose him again. And for a while, things were good, better than good. He was the man she had fallen in love with again. Attentive, present, grateful. And she thought, we made it through. We are stronger now. This is what they mean when they say, what does not break you makes you stronger. She really believed that. She held on to it with both hands. If you are listening to this, and something in these words is already sitting heavy in your chest, you are welcome here. Please subscribe to this channel so you never miss a video. Leave a kind word in the comments. Share this with a woman who needs to hear it today. This community is built by women who see each other, and you being here matters. Now, let us go deeper. The second time was different, not because what he did was different, but because she was different. She had already been through this once. She had already done the work of forgiving. She had already rebuilt the trust, brick by brick, quietly, without telling anyone how hard it was. And now, here she was again, standing in the same place, holding the same broken pieces, looking at the same man, saying the same things. I am sorry. It will never happen again. You are the only one I want. Please do not leave. And something in her, something that had not been there the first time, hesitated, just for a moment. A small, quiet hesitation, like a crack in a wall that has been repaired once before. She noticed it, and then she ignored it, because she loved him, because they had history, because leaving felt like failure, because the children, because the life they had built, because who was she without this? Because the reasons came quickly. They always do. When we are trying to talk ourselves back into something that a part of us already knows is wrong. And so she forgave him again. This time, it took longer. This time, the repair was slower. This time, she noticed that she was doing more of the work, more of the reaching, more of the holding them together while he waited to be forgiven. But she did it. She forgave him again, and she told no one, because she was ashamed, not of him, of herself, for staying, for forgiving, for loving someone who kept giving her reasons not to. Here is what nobody talks about. What happens inside a woman when she forgives too many times. It is not dramatic. It does not happen all at once. It happens in increments, in small, quiet surrenders that she barely notices until they are already gone. The first thing she loses is her anger, not because she processes it, not because she works through it, but because she swallows it over and over again. She swallows the anger because expressing it leads to an argument, because expressing it makes her seem unstable, because he is sorry he said so. And what kind of woman stays angry at a man who is sorry? So she swallows it, and it goes somewhere. It does not disappear. Anger never disappears. It just goes somewhere she cannot reach it anymore. And the next thing she loses is her voice. She stops saying what she needs. She stops asking the questions she is afraid of the answers to. She starts editing herself carefully before she speaks, because she has learned that certain words create a version of him she does not want to deal with. So she becomes smaller, quieter, easier to live with, and she tells herself this is maturity. This is choosing her battles. This is being the bigger person, but it is not. It is disappearing. And then she loses her trust, not just in him, though she has lost that too, but in herself, in her own judgment, in her own perception, in the voice inside her that said, something is wrong. Long before she had any proof, she stopped listening to that voice. She overrode it with love, with loyalty, with the desperate hope that she was wrong. And now she does not know how to hear it anymore. The third time, there was no dramatic moment, no confrontation in a restaurant, no tearful phone call, no message she was not supposed to see, just a feeling she had learned to recognize. The way you recognize the smell of rain before it arrives. Something was off. She knew before she knew. She had always known before she knew. And this time, instead of searching for proof, instead of asking the questions, instead of letting herself be talked out of what she felt, she just went quiet. Something inside her went very, very quiet. Not peaceful, not resigned, just empty, like a room after all the furniture has been removed, like a well that has been drawn from one too many times. She sat with that emptiness, and she understood, for the first time, that she had nothing left, nothing left to give him, nothing left to give herself. She had been forgiving for so long, so completely, so generously, that she had forgiven away every last piece of herself. The woman who had walked into this relationship had been given away, piece by piece, forgiveness by forgiveness, silence by silence. And what was left, what was sitting in that quiet room, was a woman she barely recognized. She thought about the woman she used to be. Before him, she had been God. She had been something, loud in the best way, certain of herself. She had opinions she was not afraid to say. She had a laugh that filled rooms. She had friends she called whenever she wanted. She had plans for herself, real plans, that had nothing to do with managing someone else's behavior. She had been so alive. And somewhere in the years of loving him, in the years of forgiving him, in the years of making herself smaller, so there was room for his mistakes. She had become quiet, not peaceful quiet, gone quiet, and she missed herself. She had not let herself say it before, but sitting in that empty room, she said it. She missed herself. She missed the woman she had been. Before she made loving him her life's work, she missed her. People say you should have left sooner, and maybe they are right, but they say it as though leaving were simple, as though walking away from someone you love, someone whose face you have memorized, someone whose voice is the first thing you want to hear when something good happens, as though that were something you simply decide to do. They do not understand that leaving someone you love is not a single decision. It is 1,000 small decisions made over a long period of time in the exhausted spaces between hope and reality. They do not understand that she did not stay because she was weak. She stayed because she was trying, because she believed in the vows she made, because she thought love was supposed to be this hard, because she had poured so much of herself in, That leaving felt like losing everything, because every time she got close to the door, every time she gathered herself up and prepared to go, he said something or did something that unlocked the part of her that still wanted to believe. She was not weak, she was human, and she loved him. Those are not flaws. Those are the things that made her her. The tragedy is not that she loved. The tragedy is that she gave that love to someone who kept returning it damaged. At some point, she started grieving while she was still in the relationship. She did not have a name for it at the time, but she would be standing in the kitchen, doing something ordinary, making dinner or washing dishes, and a wave of something would move through her. Not anger, not sadness exactly, something older than that, something that felt like loss, like she was already mourning something that had not ended yet. She was grieving the relationship she thought she was in, the one he had described to her, the one she had believed in, the one where he was the man he said he was, and she was the woman he claimed to cherish. That relationship had never quite existed, and she had spent years pouring herself into the space where it should have been. And now she was grieving it, standing at the kitchen sink, in the middle of an ordinary Tuesday, grieving a love story that had always been partly fiction. There is a moment, it is different for every woman, when the last piece goes, not with a crash, not with a scene, quietly, like a light going out in a window. One moment it is there, the next it is not. For her, it came on a night when he reached for her, and she felt nothing. Not anger, not sadness, not love, not even the ghost of love. Nothing, just the wish that she was somewhere else. And she realized the forgiveness was gone, not because she had chosen to stop forgiving, but because there was nothing left inside her to forgive with. He had used it all, every last reserve, every last act of grace, every last reaching toward him. In the dark, she was empty, and empty was the most honest she had felt in years. She did not leave that night. These things are never that clean, but something shifted. The conversation she had been having with herself, the one that went round and round. Stay or go, love him or leave him, try again or accept it. That conversation went quiet. Not because she had an answer, but because she no longer had the energy to ask the question. And in the silence, she started to hear something else. Her own voice, very faint, very distant, like someone calling from the other side of a field. But there, still there, after all of it, still there. She is not her forgiveness. She needs to hear that. She is not what she gave. She is not what she endured. She is not the sum of the times she stayed when she should have gone. She is the woman who loved completely, and that capacity, that enormous, generous, faithful capacity to love, is not gone. It is not broken. It is not something he took from her. It is hers. It has always been hers. It just needs somewhere safe to go. Somewhere it will be received the way it deserves to be received, with gratitude, with care, with a love that comes back in equal measure. She has not lost the ability to love. She has lost the willingness to love someone who does not know how to hold it. And that is not a loss. That is growth. That is the most painful kind of growth. But it is growth. What comes after the empty, she does not know yet. Some days, it feels like nothing could ever fill this space. Some days, the quiet in her is so heavy, she does not know how she carries it through a normal day. But she does. She gets up, she makes the coffee, she takes the calls, she does the things, and in the tiny spaces between the doing, she finds herself not the woman she was before. She is not going back to her. Too much has happened, too much has changed, but a new version, one who knows now what she did not know before. She knows what forgiveness costs. She knows where her limits live. She knows the sound of her own voice, and she is learning to listen to it again. She knows that love is not supposed to empty you. Real love, the love she deserves, fills you. It does not take, it gives. It does not make you smaller. It holds space for everything you are. It does not need to be forgiven over and over and over until there is nothing left. Real love does not ask that of you. She knows that now. It took everything she had to learn it, but she knows it, and she will not forget. She is still here. After all of it, after all the forgiving, after all the losing of herself, after all the quiet Tuesday griefs, and the nights she felt nothing, and the mornings she had to rebuild herself from the inside out, she is still here, still breathing, still feeling, still capable of love, still underneath it all, herself. She found her way back. She is still finding her way back. And every step, no matter how small, no matter how slow, is a step away from empty and toward full, toward the life she deserves, toward the love that will not cost her everything to keep. She is walking toward it now, one quiet step at a time, and she is going to make it. If this found you today, if these words reached something in you that you have been carrying alone, you are not alone. There are women all over the world sitting with this exact weight right now. You are all in this together, and you are all going to make it. Leave A in the comments if this reached you. Share this with a woman who needs to hear it. Subscribe so you never miss a week. This is Mama Amelia, and I will see you next time.